Hey, Patrick.
How we getting on, buddy? So what have you for me today?
Derek Domino says the Irish government ignoring the crime happening right now. So,
oh, they've been doing that for a long time. I wouldn't say this right now.
Governments never ignore crime. I
oh no, right? Of course not. No.
Right. Well, let's see how aggressive our friend Derek Domino. Sorry. Oh, sorry, sir.
Oh, there you go.
Mr. Domino, here we go.
The Irish are being scammed left, right, and centre with the full knowledge of the government. This has to stop.
Oof.
Well, first of all, may I wish all of you wonderful, amazing viewers out there, and if you're watching this channel, you are wonderful and amazing. A very happy New Year.
Oh, that happened. That happened
yes.
Today.
Yeah.
Because in fact, the 1st of January 2026. Happy New Beer.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Happy New Beer, yeah.
Yeah, all the new IPAs are coming out. You guys got to go check that out. It is beer 30 somewhere for sure. So, but with the well wishes on the new year out, let us see what these crimes are.
2026 has arrived. I hope you had a good New Year's Eve and are not suffering too much today. Now, the show, as always on this channel, must go on, New Year's Day or no. And what I want to talk about today is fraud and scams, because I believe, and I'm sure you'd agree with me on this, Ireland and the Irish are being scammed and fleeced.
So I was watching Nick Shirley. He was in, I believe, Minnesota. And you know, we were talking about the judge that overturned the ruling, Sarah West.
Oh, yes.
So apparently
that was a crazy case. That was crazy.
Right. So Nick Shirley uncovered more fraud that had to do with daycares out there. And it's all these locked and closed buildings that just have stickers on them with numbers that says that they are daycares, but they're not. There are no children going there. There's nothing happening there. It's merely just a way to fleece the government for some money. It's really bad. And people are like, how did you find out about that? I'm like, I don't care how he found out about it. I mean, obviously, I hope he didn't break the law. But now that the knowledge is out, like, maybe the government of the state of Minnesota should check it out.
Well, I will say one thing about the Attorney General. He does seem to be prosecuting anyone. He seems to be very, very good at prosecuting. But there's just probably so much of it going on that his office is probably getting overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's like a calendar. Something's going to slip through.
Yeah.
So let's see how Ireland is getting fleeced and scammed and fleeced. Though.
There's a lot of those scams going on for a long time.
All right, well, let's see what Mr. Domino has to say about this specific one, whatever it might be.
To an absolutely apocalyptic degree. And in far too many cases, I believe, with the government in full knowledge that it's going on. This has to stop. Now, if you have been paying attention in the last couple of weeks to matters stateside, you will have been unable to avoid the whole Minnesota debacle that's going on at the moment.
Funny enough, we went into this blind, but I already called that shot.
Yeah,
right,
there we go.
Here we go.
You're right.
As regards the Somalian community and the absolute outrageous fraud that has been perpetrated on the American people by one certain community that has come in recently to their midst. That's the Somali community. Minnesota is it's a big state, but it's a small population. It's about just under 6 million, 5.7 million or something like that. So it's quite similar in size, population-wise, to the Republic of Ireland. Now, since the 90s, they have influxed about 120,000 Somalis from one of the most corrupt, dysfunctional places on planet Earth. Somalia is essentially a failed state. It's also a hotbed of piracy. It's just everything. It's just a failed society.
Right. We've heard about Somali pirates for quite a long time now.
Yeah, but they've kind of literally most of them are kind of being wiped out over the years.
Right. Well, a lot of it has to do with maritime function and people who are manning those
Well,
ships not having
the
arms.
The French government actually did quite a good job on them. Literally, there a couple of years back, if you remember the news story where the Somali pirates kidnapped a prominent French couple. The French special forces went in and they literally wiped out the pirates.
Nice. But a lot of it had to do with the arms and armaments and supplies that the ships had. They weren't allowed to have certain kinds of weapon systems or platforms to defend themselves. So these little boats would come up and take over the ship, right?
Yeah.
All right.
But then the shipping companies started hiring private contractors is the best way to put them.
Yes.
Who are not afraid to use those weapons.
In fact, they're rather paid to use them. In fact, in certain situations, right?
Yes. a lot of them are ex-Foreign Legion, I should believe it or not.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a lot of them.
The Foreign Legion. You join when you get out. You get French citizenship. I think the minimum join to get that benefit, though, I think it's a 5-year term. You have to join for 5 years. So here we go.
But anyway, they managed to up sticks and implant 120,000 of these people into Minnesota. And they quickly started doing, a leopard does not change its spots, as they say. They very quickly started doing very much what they'd been doing at home, except in America, where there's far richer pickings. And in the last couple of weeks, a guy called Nick Shirley, who's a YouTuber, he's a guy who does investigative stuff, young lad.
Oh, that's the picture. That's a picture
of
right. So you see the door, there's an address, right, sweet, this or that, right?
Yeah.
But then what's it called? Equality Learning Center. It's got a phone number, right? But if you call the number, no one answers. There's no one to reply, right? So it's a daycare. It's a daycare with a locked door, with no reception, with no one who answers the door. You cannot enroll. You can't enroll a child into their services, into that center at all.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
But somehow they're getting money from the state of Minnesota.
Wow.
Somehow
I have to say, a lot of these scams are not even. Well, they're smart in a way, but they're not, Bond villain types of smart.
Well, no, but the thing is if you have a bunch of these running, it's going to be super hard to catch all of them. So
it is not.
Right, yeah. Again, you cast your nets and see what American dollars you can pull in, right?
Wow.
Chap, he started digging and delving into some of these scams, in particular this child daycare scam that they had going on. They essentially were setting up these supposed child daycare facilities, these Somalis, but in actual fact, all they were doing was just claiming millions and millions and millions of dollars from the US Treasury and taxpayer to basically have just empty warehouses and rooms and properties where there's no kids.
Wow.
Right, so that's state money, but it's also federal money because there's a lot of daycare costs wrapped up in the federal government. So you get state money, and the federal government will match that money if you have children in daycare because you need to work. Because if you're working, then you're paying taxes, right? So if they can get somebody to watch your kids, not hand in hand. Yeah, they're hitting the state of Minnesota, but they're also hitting the Fed, right? So that means that not only are the taxpayers in Minnesota getting banged on for this, also all the other taxpayers, all those who contribute into the system as taxpayers in the United States are getting banged by this too, to some small extent, right?
This whole thing was just a scam. And this was known, it is alleged, this was known full well by the people in charge, by the governor, by the various agencies. They knew it was a scam. They just, let it roll because the Somalis vote as a bloc and they vote for Democrat, a dynamic that will be very familiar to my UK viewers who are well aware that the Labour Party for decades pandered to the Pakistani community because they voted Labour. So the political class were just essentially buying votes, really. There was other scams to do with food stamps during COVID, all kinds. Look, there was just a hotbed of scammery going on in Minnesota. And this independent guy went in there with his microphone and exposed it all. And the video, his video thing, got hundreds of millions of views on X. It just went absolutely.
X obliterates legacy media, 106 million views versus 20 million newspaper readers. Ooh, wow. Oops.
Okay.
That's crazy. That's
wow.
5 times and change. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. It's interesting because when you look at the figures for X, it has been going down a bit over the years,
Well, right,
hasn't it?
right. But the thing with that is when Elon got in there and they killed all the bots, all that bot interaction. Well, not all the bots, but killed a lot of them. A lot of that interaction went down. So a lot of those numbers were fluffed up, right?
Yeah.
So with all those fluffed up numbers, now it's coming back down to, I would figure, something more reasonable amount wise. People actually interacting with people, not bots with bots, right? How the language models function, right? So here we go.
To the point where the whole thing now is just all over the place. The federal government in Washington has essentially just cut the pipeline of free money to all these scams, and the whole thing now is collapsing like a house of cards. And I say good on them.
Right. Remember that video where we did the Minnesota thing before, where there were like 40 businesses listed in one suite, right?
Yeah, and one little tiny office.
Right. Without the staff.
Yeah, it was 40, well over 40 businesses just looking by the notice board.
Right. Well, that's strange, right? But that means there's literally all kinds of more scams in there, because if they can't run program, they can't run all of those programs, right? If they're not doing one, they're not doing any, which means all 40 plus of those businesses don't exist. They're just used to catch tax dollars, right?
Yeah.
So, all right.
Wow.
Good on them. But it put me in mind of my own country, my own beloved Ireland here. And it put me in mind of what's going on with us. And there's a lot of the same kind of thing going on. Now, a guy we have here called Nick Delahunty has...
Do you know Nick Delahunty?
Oh, yes. So you've sent me a couple of these videos, haven't you, over the while?
I might have. Just trying to find good Irish stuff. My favorite are the ones about the Gardaí and people chasing agricultural vehicles around the Midlands when they get a little tipsy and want to drive their farm vehicles about. That's my favorite.
Yes. That's definitely County Curry for you.
You should check him out if you don't know him. He was a potential candidate in the presidential race, but of course he was far too good and principled and upstanding for the powers that be to ever let him get into the race. So they essentially blackballed him and kept him out of the hunt with other notable people.
Oh, now you guys have a footballer as a president, right? What's her name?
Oh, Catherine Connolly. Yeah. I see that video knocking around of her playing football with the kids and everything else. You know what? She seems okay at the moment. She doesn't seem to have any opinion as such.
Right. She didn't put on
most of our presidents are not, run around the place saying wild stuff like other presidents.
Well, she didn't put on pads to play American football. She was doing soccer for the American folks out there. It was soccer. As my Irish friend says, proper football. So here we go.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that is proper football, not that American padded stuff.
So he's been doing good work, but I think we need to home in on this in 2026. We need to home in on this, and people started not only do more and more digging into this scammery, but I'm going to report on it. If somebody sends me something that they've uncovered, or footage or whatever, of absolute outrageous scammery against the Irish people and the Irish state, the Irish taxpayer, I'll blast it. I'll put it on blast here. And
that would be the UK letting thousands upon thousands of immigrants into your country through the northern border of Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Eric, gotcha. There's one already. Gotcha one.
Let's hold the politicians' feet to the fire. That's what I'm saying. In 2026, let's get down and dirty and hold your councillors, hold your TDs, hold your elected representatives absolutely 100% responsible for allowing these things to go on. So let's get into it, shall we? So
that was a long build-up. That's 5 minutes and 52 seconds of build-up.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm primed for this. I'm ready to go now. I want to know. What's this scam? What's the fleece? What's going down, Patrick?
Yeah, I'm really interested to see it now, actually.
All right. Deep breath. Bend your knees. Okay, here we go.
Where to begin? There are just so many blatant scams and frauds going on in modern Ireland under the very noses of the powers that be. So let's start with the IPAS centres, the great IPAS centre immigration asylum seeker scam that's costing the Irish taxpayer billions, not millions, not tens of millions, not even hundreds of millions, billions.
What's your total GDP or output? Isn't it like 7 or 8 billion a year?
No, it's about last budget was 48. 48 billion.
48 billion. Okay, so 10% of your money ish, maybe a little more for iPass.
About looks like about 4 or 5%. Yeah. Wow.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's 2% and change for a billion out of 48. That's
a lot of money. But you have to remember, a lot of these iPass companies, iPass Center / companies, a lot of them are privately owned. A lot of them are run by TDs in a roundabout way.
Oh.
Well, they don't directly own them. Say their family members or their cousins,
right.
or
there's no conflict there, Patrick.
None whatsoever. iPass centers are costing an absolute fortune. Every year. On top of everything else we're paying for is absolutely crazy.
It's not just the iPass Center; it's the dole, right? It's the
social welfare. Yeah,
social welfare system is paying them massive amounts of money. We were talking to Jack the other day, and Jack was saying that they get about 200 pounds, British pounds, a month, but in Ireland, it's a lot more.
Yeah, the flat rate is 244 a week. But then there's other benefits on top, and there's other medical cards, and there's everything else.
So it's €1,000, which is 5 times plus what the 200 British pounds are, and the medical card, and the possibility of housing, and that's oof.
Yeah, the social welfare payout in Ireland usually takes up roughly about 20% of our national budget. Usually paid out in some form of social welfare.
That's insane. 1/5 of every euro collected in taxes from both private citizens, business, and other kind of taxation that goes to the federal government of Ireland is paid.
Yeah, it's the central government.
Good. Okay. Well, I guess that's a pretty big scam then. Here we go.
It's costing billions to house what everybody acknowledges, even Micheál Martin said as much. A vast majority of them are complete and utter frauds. They're scam artists, they're criminals. They should be just turned around and ejected immediately. And over 90% of these scam artists are coming in through the north of Ireland border.
Just like I said, just like you told me, that's where they're coming from.
They're coming over the northern border from the UK. Anybody who comes from a safe country like the UK, well, relatively safe, should be turned round immediately and sent straight back to sender. Return to sender. Elvis Presley put it better than anybody else could. Return to sender. There should be no reason why we are in any way putting up with them. But I'll tell you who's benefiting.
Well, it's a dumping ground. It's just a dumping ground, right? So this is from the Irish Independent. He put it up. Asylum seeker crisis sees rise of small town millionaire landlords, from TDs and XGA manager to a painter and decorator. Oh, wow. That's not good.
Because you have to remember, they get paid an absolute fortune. They get just over 110. Last figure I was looking at one time per person per day to house them.
Oh, wow.
So if you have a flat, you can fit 68 people in a flat. You get €700 a day to have them,
right, or more. But even at a low number of like 500, so the TDs, the ones who deal with the local council stuff,
the TDs, they'd be elected officials to TheA&P.
Right, the TheA&P, right, the TDs, but also those on councils and those who.
Then you have county councils who are in it.
Well, functionally, those who are in charge of the laws are also owning the properties to which the money is going to support these. Oh God, that's Well, how are you going to hold them accountable then?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh.
That is the problem.
Oh,
it's kind of like it's the elephant in the room. Like there is Curry TD Michael Healy-Rae. He got a just reading an article there.
1.2 million by housing Ukrainian refugees.
Yeah, last year.
Oh, that's not a bad paycheck from
the but the Healy-Raes are notorious gangsters, anyway, to be honest. They're always up to something.
Nice. All right, here we go.
From this fraud, certain members of the business community and certain members of the political establishment too, they're making an absolute
That was 465. Wow.
You are. I am. We're all paying for it. This has to stop. So let's get stuck into that one and let's keep the heat on that one day in and day out. Scam number 2, student visas. We've got up to 60,000, I believe, a year. Student visas coming in here to Ireland, being issued by the government, fully legal, to, as they say, study English. The vast majority of them study English. Now, we all...
They should be studying Irish Gaelic.
No, those are...
Yeah.
Right? If you're going to go to Ireland...
Yeah, the student visa thing has been going on for a long, long time.
Right, but if you're going to Ireland, right, if you want to go to just an English-speaking country, there's a lot of those. There's only one place to get that Irish Gaelic. You should be getting your visa to go learn Irish Gaelic. That would be worth it, right? That would be worth it.
If you think, I say about half of these students are not even students, if I'll be honest with you.
Oh, I'm sure it's more than that, but I'm sure that Derek, not Diamond Domino here, is going to tell us all about it. So,
attention, that is an absolute scam, and the government knows it too, and has been for years.
Crackdown planned on bogus schools acting as backdoor for immigration. The government is planning a crackdown on bogus English language schools that are acting as a convenient backdoor for immigration. Oh, okay. Your higher education minister said that, but
yeah.
These people are coming in under the guise of learning English, but what they're actually doing is they're just going on the gig economy. Yes, because they can work legally. These students can work up to 20 hours a week, but that's, again, a scam. Nobody's paying attention. Nobody's checking. A lot of these students...
Well, so if it's 60,000, right, and we'll say 30,000, just to be fair, are there to actually learn English and then go back to wherever, that's still 30,000 per year that are just sloughing off the local income, and then they get maybe a part-time job, or they just stick around, right?
Yeah, just stick around. And
right.
Seems to be more, well, now they're following up, but it's a bit late in the game, our government at the moment, trying to crack down on all these things.
Right. So the UK and Ireland, not that big, but still they're hiding lots and lots of illegals, right? The United States is absolutely massive. I don't know where the millions of people that came over are. Where are they? Right? They've disappeared, right?
Yeah.
Where do they go? I have no idea.
But you have to remember, too, how big is the United States?
Oh, it's absolutely massive.
Yeah. Ireland is not that, Ireland is not that big, so it can't be that hard for us to track all these people down.
You would think.
Surely.
Apparently, they're Olympic level hide and go seekers. So,
yeah.
Championship gold level, right?
Yeah, exactly. They should crack down more.
Come from places like Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, all kinds of places. They're flooding in at up to 60,000 a year, fully legally, under the noses of the government, and with a nod and a wink from the government, not to study anything. A lot of these so-called schools are scam outfits. They're just like the Minnesota daycare facilities.
Oh, it's to get them to get work permits. Okay, that makes sense.
You go in there on a given day, and there's barely anybody in the class. Why?
So 100 people on the roll, only 2 people who are actually attending class. Huh. Well, I suppose 2% is better than 0%. We're the other 98 students, right? Strange.
Yeah, we just all happen to be out sick at the same day.
Probably. Yeah, they're all ill, which means they're taking more of your medical establishment resources, of course. There you go.
Yeah.
They're all out working. They're all out working, taking the jobs from young Irish people, undercutting them. And nothing new there. That's what happens in these scam situations. I say, let's get under this. Let's stop it. Cut them down. Get rid of all the scam schools. Get rid of all the scam courses. And
well, and specifically, the government has to be complicit in that, because they're the ones that authorize payment to the NGOs and the entities that are providing the English learning centers, right?
Yeah. So they should be a lot stricter on it. They should be. They should be doing more follow-up, following where all this money is going.
Right. Well,
like if one guy can literally walk in 5 minutes, realize this is an entire scam when there's only 2 students and there's 100 supposed to be there.
Well, it's like a lot of the stuff with the state of California, where they just lost $24 billion to the homeless industrial complex. Why do we now have more homeless people when we've given you $24 billion to solve the problem? right?
Yeah, wow.
And it's just, oh, well, now it's a bigger problem, so we need more money. It's like, you screwed off the last 24 billion. Why am I going to give you one more red cent? Like, that's not going to happen. Hell no. No.
You know that budget is going to get passed. Guarantee it.
Well,
there's too many invested interests in a lot of these NGOs.
Well, the problem is that we have a super majority in our state, and they don't want to look at the spending. Right? They just want to grab all the money they can and then throw it back out to the constituency that will vote for them. Right? And with a super majority, it's this place is killing me. All right, here we go.
Let's get the job done. Scam number 3, and I'll finish with this one because there are so many of these scams that we all know about. I could be here all day, and today is New Year's Day. We don't have all day. We've got things to do and people to see. What about all these scam shops in every street, it seems now in Ireland, all around the country? These vape shops popping up all over.
Have you seen these shops, dude?
Oh, every town and village and city in Ireland has got at least a dozen, if not more, of these shops. Right. Everywhere.
Was everybody vaping, or what's going on?
I honestly don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Well,
some of them could be legitimate, but a lot of them could be money laundering fronts, I would say.
Well, is that the place where you got your new amazing cellular device, sir? Or did you go to a more established?
Well, actually, I went to a proper shop for that. Okay. I would not being smart. I wouldn't darken the door of some of those places.
Right. I mean, it looks like a little scam shop. You know what I'm saying?
It is. That's what I'm saying. It feels and looks scammy. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think everyone in Ireland is used to seeing these little sleazy shops everywhere.
But in the United States, we have T-shirt shops that are like that. Right. If you go to places like Key West, there's just a ton of little T-shirt shops. You're like, how are you making enough money selling $9 T-shirts in Key West? Like, there's no way.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
So there's a lot of the scam shops here that do that. But I mean, this is like the upgraded version. This is the
we got the fancy version over here.
Confidence men all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Turkish barbers popping up all over the place. These cheap, tacky phone shops popping up all over the place. Never seems to be anybody in them. Never seems to be anybody there. Isn't that amazing? I thought to run a successful shop, you needed, well, footfall, as they call it in the trade. And these shops...
Yeah, if you have a brick and mortar shop, you're going to need people coming in there. So I guess the question is how are they maintaining their inventory, their products, like where are they filing their business taxes? And,
the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. Well, it's something that the government should be able to see and be like, hey, you don't make any money somehow. How are you still here?
Yeah. Even if the revenue commissioner should step in and have a look at some of these shops. Just pick out a few in any town or village and just audit their books. Just audit them. Figure out where the money, what is going on.
Right.
That's he is right. Every time I've passed any of these shops, there's no one in them. So how would he make money?
Well, because based on the size of the inventory, even selling 10 or 20 vapes in a day per day over a 30-day month, right? That's not going to be enough to pay the rent and pay for the labor and all that stuff, right? There's got to be some movement in there. It's got to be a pretty good amount of it too, right?
Yeah, there has to be.
But there's not. And it's pretty obvious.
A lot of them are money laundering. There have to be.
I know it's no choice.
I'm probably tarring them all. I'm probably tarring them all unfairly. But if it looks like a scam and it feels like a scam, it usually is a scam.
Well, but the thing, it might not be the scam that you think it is. You know what I'm saying? But it looks like a money laundering front, or it looks like it's doing something that it shouldn't be doing, right?
Yeah.
Except somehow the council's getting taxes from it, or they're getting a benefit from the government for letting those shops stay in place, right? So like in the United States, if you're an immigrant, you can get certain special kinds of loans to start small businesses, especially on the West Coast. Yeah. And we end up with a lot of liquor stores based on that here in the United States. Our liquor stores are mainly the little ones that are around town these little bottle shops start as small businesses that are immigrant owned. So, all right, here we go.
Never seem to have any, or very, very little. And the people who do seem to ever be in them are the same old heads all the time. Weird how that works. Well, I'll tell you what's going on here, and you know it as well as I do, and so do the powers that be. Check out this tweet here from Buchanan, Dublin Time Machine. He puts it rather succinctly. Dublin streets are blighted by an explosion of barbers, vape shops, and phone kiosks. These eerily identical businesses are often empty. How can you justify 5 barbers or vape shops with no footfall? The Gardaí, county councils and local chambers of commerce know many are fronts for money laundering, drug trafficking, sex work and organised crime. Gangs are turning struggling streets into conduits for dirty cash.
Yeah, just like we said. I mean, that's what it feels like. There's all kinds of scams and illegal activities and organized type crime to be functioning in that space. So,
and obviously, if you're in organized crime, you have to clean your money somewhere.
Yeah, you do. So those businesses are showing a profit, or at least they're showing an acceptable loss for taxation purposes. And some of them could be loss leaders for taxes for legitimate businesses that are attached to the organized crime, you know?
Yeah. So there's 1,000 different things going on.
At Rob Loose Cannon from the Dublin Time Machine. All right. Good job, Rob.
Very well put. Very well put indeed. We all know it's a scam. We all know many of these, if not most of these outlets, are absolute fraud shops. That's what they are. And they should be all investigated and shut down. And the people arrested and jailed and deported if necessary. And I feel in a lot of cases it would be necessary. So there you go, guys. Let's get into it. 2026 is here. The scams have to stop. Minnesota should be a lesson to us all. If we get stuck into these things and we investigate, because it doesn't take the BBC or RTE or CNN to uncover these things, because they won't. As we all know, they will not touch certain things because they're told to leave it alone. But we, the citizenry, we all have phones, we all have cameras, we all can take videos, we all can record things. We should get stuck into this and let's expose the fraud and the scams in Ireland, just as Nick Shirley did in Minnesota. And look what happened there. That thing is on fire over there. Let's do it here. And let's then tackle the people who are supposed to stop it. Your county councillors, your TDs, your government ministers. Let's get them all. Let's get them.
He's right. Hit up your TDs and your county councillors. Like, if you know that's going on, you should really say something. Yep. It's one of those, if you see it, say it, you know?
Yeah. I think we have a tendency, and especially in Ireland, to kind of turn a blind eye to a lot of this stuff for whatever reason. But he is right. We should start using our phones and our voice.
Makes sense. Makes sense for sure.
Definitely.
All right. Derek Domino did great on that one. So for Patrick
Absolutely
McCallum,
fantastic.
Yeah, that was a really great job. For Patrick McCallum, I am Alex Johansson. We're the A&P Gents. Subscribe, like, ring the bell, do all the things, and help us beat the algorithm. We're the A&P Gents, and we are out.